So last time we beat Wally, and a lot of people wanted to see Lee next. So here we go. I'm about to play Lee. This is my first attempt, so I haven't lost or won any previously. It says Lee is her school champion and is quickly getting better. She loves to win short attacking games. So what that tells me is she's probably going to play some aggressive gambit, and I need to just be careful early on. And if I make it to the end game, maybe I'll win. So I'm going to keep that in mind, but I'm also not going to change up my strategy too much. So yeah, here we go. I'll be interested to see, okay, so Sicilian, I'm pretty comfortable against this if I get to play bishop b5. Awesome. This is one of my favorite openings, probably my favorite opening. I have the course on this on the channel for the channel members. So against knight c6 and d6, what I usually like to do is just castle first, and probably we'll follow up with like c3. Yeah, so this is like one of the main lines. We can play c3, and there's actually you can gambit this pawn. So let me think about the move order here. I'm trying to think if it's rook e1 first and then d4, I think is how it goes. So you defend the pawn, and then a6, takes, and then you play d4. And you basically give up this pawn for compensation and an attack on black's king. So yeah, I think that's how it goes. So I'm going to play rook e1. I don't get to play this often because a lot of people don't play this line, but it looks like Lee's going to play it, so we'll take. And then, yeah, I think this is where I can sacrifice the pawn. So the point kind of is that if black takes it, then, like I said, we have the file for the rook here, and we get a lot of counterplay. So we're going to play d4. Okay, and this is one of the main lines. And then I'm just thinking what the move is. I believe it's bishop to g5. And the point is we're going to want to take the knight, and then the bishop will be hanging. I think then the move is either like d5 or bishop d5. Yeah, so we'll play bishop g5. I'm pretty certain that's correct. Yep, we'll play bishop g5. Bishop all the way back to c6. Okay, interesting. I think that's like a... I'm pretty sure the main line is d5, and then maybe second main line is bishop d5. So bishop c6. So we can capture here and then play d5, force the bishop back. I know there are some lines, I think, where you capture and then you move this knight so that your queen can come over here. So I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to trade here. Let me be honest with you, I don't always remember all of these lines, especially the ones that I don't get to play that often. This is not like one of the super common moves. I know I'm supposed to be able to get into a pretty nice and aggressive position. I'm pretty sure I need to take this. And then I'm not sure what's next. Maybe d5. Takes d5, bishop d7. And what do I do then? That's what I'm not sure about. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take because I think this is pretty standard. Kind of makes it a little bit awkward for black to figure out what to do with their king, right? Because they probably don't want to castle over here now that this is open. Probably don't want to stay in the center because eventually I'm going to be able to break through, and then castling queenside it's just kind of awkward for black. So I feel like d5 is good because it kind of keeps the position blocked off so the bishops can't get too effective, but we also keep the pressure up here. I'm trying to consider if there's any benefit to doing something else. Like knight h4 is also an idea because hopping in here can be a very dangerous threat for black, but also it gives me options of like queen h5, queen g4 to get the queen over here. So yeah, that's what I'm not sure. Do I play d5 or do I play knight h4? And I'll probably have to go look this one up after the game because I just don't remember. I'm gonna try knight h4. I don't remember if this is correct, but we're gonna see how it goes. Okay, rook to g8. So there's this, but I have it defended. Black's king is definitely not going over here. Let's see, queen h5 is a move, attacks the pawn. What would black play against that? Maybe h6? I'm thinking about d5 at this point because I do want to be careful here. So d5 immediately solves that problem. Bishop would probably go back. And then maybe I could even play queen to f3, which is attacking this pawn. And then we can get the knight involved and get some pressure this way. It doesn't look bad. Alternatively, there's queen h5. I think d5 is a pretty useful move. I mean, I can't go knight f5 anyway because of this threat, so I may as well play d5, even if the bishop, you know, controls that square. Yeah, let's play d5. Okay, bishop d7, as expected. So now there's a couple options. Queen f3 attacks this pawn because it's pinned. This guy's pinned. There's bishop g7. I don't really see any other way to defend that pawn unless it goes forward and the queen defends. But if it goes forward, it seems like opening up this is going to be very dangerous. So I'm expecting bishop to g7. But then I think we can just bring this knight in, and we've got a lot of pressure. Other move would be queen h5 to attack this pawn. There's h6. That's also not bad for me, but I think I like queen f3. I think I like queen f3. Let's go for queen f3. Oh, b5. Okay, so just giving me the pawn on f6. Interesting. What would the follow-up move be? Because then I'm also attacking this pawn. So this looks good. Just taking the pawn. Bishop can go there, but then I take this. It's fine for me, I think. What other moves does black play here? Well, maybe e6 and try to trade queens. Takes. That's a possibility. But even still, I'm going to be able to bring my knight over, rook over, and have a lot of pressure. So let's go ahead and take that. Yeah, e6. Okay. Now, do I have to trade? I don't have to trade. I could come back here to defend my knight. But then there's e5. And then the bishop is unleashed. There's rook here. So after e5, I'd probably have to sack the rook. Takes. Queen e7. Not good enough. So I don't think that's an option because of e5. I don't see how I save my knight at that point. Because if the queen here, then there's rook g4. Okay. So with that in mind, I think I do have to trade, kind of like I mentioned, which is not ideal, but I did get my pawn back, so it's a equal endgame. Now black does have the bishop pair, so I have to watch out for that. Takes, doesn't work. There's no fancy tricks there. Okay, so we got to trade. And now it's a little bit interesting because if I take this, position is starting to get open. But what else am I going to play? Maybe I wasn't supposed to take that right away. Maybe I was supposed to wait, just bring my knight over, actually, now that I think about it. We'll have to check that after the game, because I'm curious. I know I should have been able to get in a better position than this. Anyway, let's see. c4 to defend this guy. Captures. and then knight c3. I don't know if I want to sacrifice that pawn. I really need to get rid of one of the bishops at least. I need to trade for one of the bishops somehow. So let's go ahead and take this. And we got to get this guy involved and get the rook involved. So we'll bring the knight. We'll bring the knight over. Okay, so this is attacked. Don't really have too many options. I can't defend it because it's pinned. So we have to retreat. Yeah, there's no... I mean, I could do this actually, but I don't really want it stuck over there on the side anyway, so I'm going to bring it back. Okay. Now, I would really like to trade, like I said, one of these knights for one of these bishops, because then I can kind of work around the other colored squares. Right now, when there's both bishops, I can't really do that because the bishops control everything. So how can I trade for one of those? It's not easy at the moment. I'm thinking like here, rook over, and knight d5 is one way, but that's like a 4-move plan. What is black most likely to do next? Is this a threat? Kind of. I mean, I can play g3. It's not awesome, but it's not too bad. I'd like to bring this rook here, but this pawn is hanging. I do have b3 to trap the bishop, but then there's like c4. And it looks like the bishop might be escaping, so I don't know that I want to let that happen. Knight e4 doesn't really do anything because I can't go anywhere after that, except here. Yeah, which is not terrible. It blocks the rook, gives me options. So I'm thinking knight e4 or knight f1. This is what I'm thinking. I think I like knight f1 because then I have the option to go here, which this looks like a good space for a knight. All I have to do is get the rook over, the knight can go there. So let's go with knight f1. Oh, there is... No, there's not bishop d5. I was going to say bishop d5 is annoying, but that's not an option right now. So, okay, knight f1. Okay, so this is defended. Now this can move here and put pressure. So, knight e3 to take that away. Also defends this and sets up that. Or knight g3, maybe I can hop over here. I like knight g3 because it neutralizes the rook. I like knight e3 because it gives me this option. Now I can't go there right now, but I would like to bring my rook over and then go there. What's black probably going to do next? Maybe bring the bishop forward or push some pawns or something. I'm not exactly sure. Does that affect my plan in any way? If I bring the rook and the bishop takes, I can go back, and then once it moves, I can take this. So that looks okay. Knight to e3. I do like that the rook is involved here. So this, Well, just because this way at least I neutralize the rook and I still have some potential threats, I guess I'll go with knight to g3. But knight e3 also was looking pretty good as well. Okay, so again, I'd like to play this rook here. If this captures, then I can go back and then take this pawn. Or I can do something like, problem with b3 to neutralize this bishop is that then there's bishop f6, and I have to deal with it again. So I think I gotta get this rook over to start creating some threats. Or maybe I just bring the knight in now. This is a tough position. Bishops are like owning me right now. I've got to figure out something for that. Okay, b3, bishop f6. What about knight e4? Bishop's probably going to go back to like h8 or something. But then we have some pressure here. We can bring the rook over. So maybe that's the move. Maybe b3, because I want to get this rook involved. And if bishop here, I have knight e4. And then I can get some counterplay here. All right, let's give that a shot. So b3, we'll try that. h6, okay. I'm not sure what the idea is there, but I want to continue with bringing this rook over to start trying to generate some threats. So let's do that. So if I take and play a3, bishop can come in here, but that's not really a big deal. I can just probably slide my rook up. I think that's okay. So I will do that. And then a3. Ah, the rook's coming over. Okay. So maybe we have to just go back. There is knight f5. There is knight f5, taking advantage of this pin. If the bishop takes, then we've got that. If this moves somewhere, it can't move off of this diagonal, or we can take this. So that means it has to go back, or we can trade it off. And then we've eliminated one of the bishops, which I think is a good trade at this point. So knight f5. What if takes? Yeah, that's fine because it's with check. Okay, so here maybe bishop f8. Huh, then we don't really have a great follow-up. That's the problem with that. Okay, rook to b1 to control the file. Feels kind of awkward because I just went here to go back, but I don't know that I have a choice. Any other moves? I can't go here or here. This knight is not doing much. Guess we can go here with the knight. Takes away that square from the rook. But there's still b2. Okay. Maybe. Knight f5, bishop f8. What about knight e3? Then we're setting up to go here. The rook can still come in, which is not great for me. I don't think we want the rook coming in. I really don't. So I think we got to do this. We can't let the rook... Okay. That... This is a rough position. I think we got to take it. If we don't take it, then we're in big trouble because there's going to be a rook which is going to just gobble up all of our pawns. If we do take it, the pawn's going to take. We have a passed pawn to deal with. But... But what? But what? Let's see. Let's say takes, knight here. Bishop where? Here? Ay, 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 ay. This is a rough position. This is rough. Well, knight here, we just lose our pawns. We can't do anything. I don't have any outposts for my knights, so I can't do anything really. Okay, I gotta take this and figure out how to deal with this pass pawn now. We can play c4 because I really don't want to get this to be a protected pass pawn. That's bad. But and the point of c4 is if it takes, then we have this bishop hanging. But I'm afraid of this move, just taking my pawn. That's what I'm afraid of. Okay, what about knight f? What about knight f5? Bishop. If bishop goes to f8, it blocks the rook. So bishop would probably go to like f6. Then we can at least take that. Get something. But then rook g6 and our knight is kind of trapped. Wow. What a rough position. What a rough position. Alright, let's think about this one more time. c4, rook to a8. We can play knight to d2. This is going to be captured. Then we can play rook to b1, attacking the pawn. Eesh. We can play knight here and then knight b1 and defend our pawns. It's super passive, but at least it defends. We can try to hold on and maybe bring our king over. I don't see a whole lot of other options. Let's give that a try. Let's play knight to d2. Wow, just b2. Okay. Yeah, so I think we just blockade it, and then we figure out how to bring this knight over, and then maybe our king, and see what we can do. Oh, what if we play rook b1, attacking it? Rook to b8. And then we have to watch out for this threat. Yeah. We'd have to play like c4. Huh. So the question is, do I want to blockade with the knight or with the rook? Knight's not bad because it controls those pawns. Rook, rook, c4 to stop this. Bishop g5 maybe. Then we can go knight here. Bishop f5. Ooh. I don't think we can do that. I don't think we can afford to put the rook there. I think we have to go knight. Yeah, I think we have to go knight b1. As awkward as it is. But we can do that later. Maybe I can try to bring the king over right now. Maybe. There's c4. This is definitely needs to happen. I do want to get my king involved. But after this, then there's check. Knight e2 just walks into another pin. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, let's play knight b1. I don't know. Well, maybe I can use this opportunity to get my king out, since there's no check here. Don't really see much else. It's a rough position, that's for sure. Okay, so king e2 I would like to play. There is check. But I think my king can get over this way then, so we can just kind of walk over here. Or even f3 would be fine. I believe, yeah, f3 looks okay. So king e2, because I really need to come over here and take this pawn. That's what I need to do. Let's go king e2. Okay, so I think my plan is going to be the same. Try to get this guy. Can always maneuver the knight around if we have to. I would like to play here. There's check. King over. There's no check there because my knight, or there's takes, then check. It's not a big deal. I can still take that. I don't see any tactics. So let's continue with the plan. Okay. I mean, I've got f3 or rook e2. Rook e2. I like rook e2 because if I ever get harassed here, I just play f3. And also is lining up on this pawn, which gives me options to do things over there. Okay, let's go rook e2. Sure. Now what about d4? Hold on a second. Rook e2, d4. That's a bit annoying, actually. I mean, it's annoying either way, but do I care? Let's see, if rook e2, d4, I can't play there anymore because of the fork. So what do I play against d4? Gonna have to just leave it and play like f3. So maybe I'm gonna play f3 anyway. So maybe I do play f3 here. There is this move. Forking. Okay, so maybe we go here, d4, f3. And then try to bring this knight back. Alright. Rook e2. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. I want to go here and take the pawn. But if I do that, what's going to happen? Check. Take it. Check. King can move back here. Rook can come in. This is under attack. I'm still surviving though. I've got rook a2. Ooh. Okay, so that's an option. The other option would be... I don't really see any other options. I can't move this because of this. I guess other option is f3. That's the other option. f3. And then try to maneuver the knight somehow, like this. I think I'd rather just go here and try to take this. So what if rook b8 first? That's pretty annoying because then the bishop can go here next, and that's not good for me. Okay, so maybe we have to do f3. The point is the rook defends the pawn, so then we can move our knight. Probably here and here and here. Okay, so f3. We'll give it a try. We'll give it a try. Yeah, okay. So now we need to get this guy involved. I guess it's there. I can go here with the rook, but what does that accomplish? I don't know if I have time to come over here like and start hunting these pawns. Although it does put my rook in a more active place. This. I guess we'll go for this plan. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Okay, I didn't think about that. That was important. That was what my knight was doing there. Yeah, of course. Well, the knight's trapped. Can't defend it, except with the rook. So I guess that's my only move. Which is not what I wanted to play. But, do I have any other moves? No. Okay. Yikes, 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 yikes. Okay, only move. I think, well, I have check, but then king here, and then I'm losing this guy. If I go here, takes, and then it gets a queen. Okay, so I have to go here. Wow. Wow. Look at all these threats. Okay, well, that's covered. That's covered. I can't go there, though, to take the pawn. This is almost like Zugzwang. It's like, can I even move any pieces? A4. I can move A4 to make space for my knight. I don't really want to make space for the knight. Oh, that's covered. Okay, so maybe this. Wow, this is nasty. Okay, I don't think I can move anything else. A4. Ay, 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 ay. Now that's the threat. Wow. That's nasty. This is a mating net. Knight g3 just gets taken. Taken. Checkmate. Rook here. That's just gone. Can't go there. I can't take that. I can do that, but it's too slow. Got destroyed. Got destroyed. It's one of the risks when you give up both bishops, like I did. I think I misplayed it, though. I'm pretty sure that's not supposed to happen. So we'll go look at it, because I'm actually curious what I did wrong. So I guess I'll just let Lee checkmate me with the rook here. Okay, let's go check the game report here. Wow, so there's the game report. Lee played 95.2. I was 56.9. So let's see what we did wrong. I know this was fine. This was all book moves. Bishop c6, and then that was good. Okay. Knight h4 was bad. Okay. d5 was the move. And then bishop d7, and I probably would have just played knight to d2, which is correct. And then I guess I was thinking something like bishop g7 was going to happen. And then I think I was going to play knight e4, which is an okay move. And then castles. And then something like knight g3. Okay. So this is much better for me. The position's much more closed off, so the bishops aren't nearly as effective. And I do have a nice, like some holes over here that I can probably work with. Either knight here to f5 or knight h5. Yeah, this looks much better. So knight h4 was not correct in that moment. So that's good to remember. But then even here, I felt like I was okay. Yeah, I felt like I was fine here. What was I supposed to play? Oh, blunder. Okay. So what was the move? Just knight d2. Yep. Yeah, I should have known just trading queens and going into an endgame like that against the bishop pair was wrong. So keeping everything on the board, playing knight here. And then what was Lee gonna play? There's not a lot of moves, like something like, let's say queen b6, and now I can take it, and it's much better because there's no queen trade and I keep up the pressure. And against something like, what about like e6, let's just say. I'm just curious. Oh wow, it's completely losing. Right, because if it captures this way, you've got queen h6, and ooh, queen to c6. Yeah, that's nasty. See, this is the kind of position that I was trying to get into, and so I almost had it, but I blew it when I took the pawn because it allowed black to just simply play e6, and because of the pressure here, forced the queen trade. Now, it's interesting that queen f3 is being shown as a move. I was expecting that this is going to be losing. Oh, wow, look at that. That's cool. How does this one work? What do you do after this? Oh, the rook's hanging. The rook's hanging. Okay, so I missed all kinds of things this game. I missed all kinds of things. So I could have kept queens on the board. Because there's a rook hanging after I capture here. That's nice to know. Okay. So this is what was supposed to happen right up until here, and I traded queens. Okay. So that's what I did wrong, and then at this point, I mean, the game is just pretty much over, and I think Lee just played like pretty much perfect every move in the end game, which is interesting because the bot says it tries to win early, but it plays like, oh, okay, that was one mistake, but almost perfectly at the end of the game. Okay. All right, Lee. I'll be back another day when I'm not so tired, and we'll try this again. This is not the end of the story. Alright guys, so last time Lee got the best of us, but we're going to try again and see how we do this time. I'm going to try not to mess up the opening. Last time we did make a pretty big mistake in the opening when we had a good position, so I'm going to try to see if we can not do that this game. But let's see how this goes. So I'm going to play e4 again. Hopefully we can get like maybe the same line. So I think Sicilian was played last time. Okay, bishop b5. This is what I like to play. Okay, this was different. Last time I don't think she played this. So we're going to probably get into a different position here. Queen d7. Okay, I think the line is c4. Knight f6, knight c3. Probably knight c6 next. Oh, g6. That's fine. We'll play d4. This is a line that I've played quite a bit, so I'm pretty familiar with how this is supposed to go. Okay, f3 is just to kind of defend here and stop the knight from coming here. Bishop to e3. We're going to create a battery here. Maybe trade off that bishop. I could trade or I could just leave it. I think I will just leave it for right now. Play queen to d2. Again, setting up this battery. Okay, now I'll just take it back. Okay. So I like that we have this little blockade here. So this is a backward pawn, so that's a good target for us. We got to defend this, so we'll play b3. And I'm playing so fast because I've played bishop b5 Sicilian a lot, and I know that this is the setup that I need to go for. It's called Maroczy bind, and the point now is that this is our plan. We have a hole here that we want to take advantage of. So I'm going to castle so I can get my rooks involved, and then we're going to pile up on this pawn and see if we can win the pawn. So I'm going to use this rook because right now I don't want to play here and open up this. I just want to take advantage of my positional advantage and go for this pawn. So I'm going to use this rook because this guy's probably going to be useful on the c file eventually. So we'll play rook f to d1. Yeah, I'm expecting that. Now there's bishop f8 to defend it. So there's a couple ways we can do this. Number one, we can play knight b5 and just go straight for the pawn. The other way would be to play like knight d5 and then maybe even like do a triple battery, maybe maneuver this bishop around somewhere and try to attack the pawn that way. But first let's see what happens if I just attack it right away. Probably bishop to f8 to defend, and then my knight could get chased away. I could end up losing some time there. So with that in mind, maybe I'll play there right away. I could also go here, and even trading off the bishop for the knight is not a terrible idea because the position's pretty locked up. And then my knight's going to be able to just sit on d5 forever. Right now, it could get traded away. So maybe that's not a bad plan. I think my knight's going to very much outperform that bishop. So this is kind of a positional decision because it's so locked up. So I'll play bishop g5. Okay. So obviously wants to prevent knight to d5, taking advantage of the pin, but that's just a free pawn. So I know I was going to trade it, but I could also trade and then take with the queen. Sorry. That looks pretty good. Then I get to trade the bishop for the knight like I wanted and get a pawn. And I still have knight d5 to follow up later. Looks pretty crushing. Let's do that. We'll take that. We'll take on h6. This is like perfect. This is a very positional game. There's not a lot of tactics going on, and I can just kind of grind out my advantage. So I'm going to come back. Question is where to? I'm looking at g5 only because if I go all the way back to like d2, then there's f5, and maybe black can generate some sort of a pressure on my king, open up the position a little, the bishop becomes more effective. Playing queen g5 kind of prevents that because then this is going to be hanging. Also, it's not that easy to harass my queen there because this pawn's gone. f6 doesn't work, I just take this. So I like queen g5, so I'll go there. Okay, now I'm thinking, do I put the knight in there or do I put the rook and then bring this guy over? Or do I just go like this and this? Lots of good options for me here. There's knight b5 to attack it, but I want to wait a little bit. I want to get both rooks involved. So let's go rook d3. And I'm going here as opposed to d2 because it's dark squared bishop. Sorry, dark squared, wow, I can't draw arrows. Dark squared bishop, I want to keep my rooks on the light squares. I think trading is good, just because usually positional advantages like this are easier to exploit the more pieces that come off. Then I don't have any particularly good reason to keep the queen on the board. I'm already ahead of pawn, so I am going to trade queens. And I'm going to double up. So now I've got that. Probably bishop f8. Okay, so she's just going to give me the pawn. Alright, well, I'm not really worried about that. I can just slide over. Nothing else is in danger. Okay, all my pawns are nice and safe. So I'm going to take the pawn. Take the free pawn. Okay, I'll move over like I said. And we'll trade. So this is a pretty comfortable endgame. We're up 2 pawns as long as we don't blow it. So I'd like to trade pieces and not pawns. So let's try to do that. Let's go ahead and activate the king. Okay, so I'm thinking knight b5 to see if we can trade off the bishop. Also attacks another pawn. There's knight d5 is not bad too. But at this point, I want to attack specific things. So I like knight b5 because it attacks the... They're both good moves. We'll go with knight b5. Try to trade and put some pressure here. Okay. So I'm thinking takes. I can go here, get a fork, but it's already defended by the bishop. I don't really want to let black take that. Also opens up the file. The rook maybe can come in later. So I'm going to play h3. I want to keep all my pawns. Yeah, I kind of expected that. That's okay. Now we can probably go to here and then back to d5. Okay. So I want to leave that for my knight, so I'm thinking the rook should go here. Something like this would probably be a mistake, allowing black to get control of the file. So that leaves me with rook d7 to keep my rook kind of in the action, or I could come way back, but no, we'll go rook d7. Okay, I'm not worried about that. Everything looks good there. Even if the rook comes in somewhere, everything's kind of defended. I'm going to continue to try to create threats. Now I could take this, but then there's this, and I'm losing my pawn. So let's play a4 to actually threaten to take that now. Yeah, a5. Okay. So now we have a nice target here. So let's play knight d5, piling up on that guy. And it looks like rook b7, and that's probably a goner. So we'll do that. Now, I know I said I didn't want to give up this file, but my king is covering it nicely. And I'm winning a pawn, which at the end of the game is very important. So I think it's worth it. So I will take that. Okay, we'll trade. Perfect. Now we got a rook ending with a whole bunch of extra pawns. Very good for us. Okay, remember, just trading pawns for the sake of trading pawns is not what I want to do. So I'm going to go here and try to win one of these guys. Okay, there we go. And now I'll take it back. So at this point, the plan for victory is to push these pawns forward. I have to pay attention and not do something stupid like letting black come down here and like take these and then get a queen. But right now, not set up to do that. So I'm going to start pushing the pawns. So the question is how to do it. If I do this, then there's this like fork and I'll end up losing one of my pawns. So I'm thinking maybe put the rook here and then everything's defended and then I can start kind of slowly pushing them down. So let's do that. And I've got time, right? I got plenty of time. Unless black is somehow able to break through over here, I can take my time pushing these. So let's go here. Okay, let's go here to defend it. Let's go here. And I can just keep doing this, right? Just keep working them down the board. Let's bring the rook up. Okay, so I'm checking. Can the rook come in anywhere? It can go here. It's not a big deal. I can just defend it. So I'm going to keep pushing. I'm not worried about that. Okay. Let's keep going. Let's just keep pushing them. I'm defended here, so everything's good. Again, I'm just checking. Can the rook go anywhere? But my king is doing a great job kind of controlling these squares. This one, I'm just going to slide up, so I'm not really worried. Yeah, we'll just keep pushing them forward. Okay, let's see. Let's continue. It's very easy because I have so many pawns here to push forward. All right, we already kind of talked about this. I'll bring my king up to defend that. All right, let's keep going. We'll go all the way up there. Okay, so I do have to get out of these checks, but I can just hide over here behind this pawn. So like here, I'll just go here. Okay, well, I'll just take that. It's fine. And so now I'm okay trading these pawns because I have these three that are good to go. So we'll go here, take this next. Okay, and now let's push forward once more. I could even go there and get a queen right away. That's one option, but let's just do this and threaten. That's checkmate right there. Okay. Let's bring the king up again, threatening checkmate. The rook's out of the picture. Boom. So there we go. That was much more of a clean game. If we go back and just analyze real briefly, the reason that worked out so nicely is because I've played this system before, this Maroczy bind setup against Bishop e5 Sicilian, and basically all you do is put your pawns on the light squares, like we did here. You get this little setup, and a lot of times you end up with a nice backward pawn to attack. Now, Lee could have played e6, and then it's not quite as easy because we don't have that square, but then that's still a weak pawn, and so that's kind of the idea behind this. And then it was just basic, you know, piling up on the weakness, not making mistakes, and there we go. And I don't know why Lee like gave away a bunch of pawns early. That was seemed kind of weak, but I'll take it. That's how you beat Lee. Let me know questions, comments, and if you have any other bots that you want to see me play next. Yeah, stay sharp, play smart, take care.